And that would be now, John. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our regular council meeting. Before we get started with our caucus, Chief Larry Brown of Sheriff's Office will address the council with security matters. And then also, I believe you have an officer with you with a K-9, correct? Welcome, sir. Oh, we got to bring him up. You have to turn on the mic there.
There it goes.
Good boy. Yeah.
Good boy. So this is Deputy Nalitz, and this is K9 Dino. He just completed his training out at K9 Excel. Matthew Nalitz is working in patrol right now, getting patrol certified, and starting December 1st, he will be going throughout the Ohio buildings providing security. So I'm going to let him introduce himself, and he's going to tell you about Dino and what Dino's functions will be for security coming up.
Hi, everybody. I'm Deputy Matthew Nalitz, and this is my K9 partner, Dino, as Chief said. He's still a pup. As you can see, he's got all this pent-up energy. He's 1.5 years old. He was imported from Slovakia, and he did his training up in Hiram. I've had him for about 2 months now. His two main tasks are firearm detection and apprehension. Other than that, I mean, he's a good boy. He can find the firearms. He's done luggage, lockers, cars, anywhere you can think of. Really, they try to expose him to as many different environments as possible. Dino, Sadney. How long does it take to train them? So they're imprinted on the smells beforehand. So before I even got there, he knew that the smell of a firearm was, that meant his ball. And so now he just associates, hey, I smell a firearm, I get a ball. And that's how he works. So that was done beforehand, and then they do it in a weird system. So it starts with like these black boxes that they put the firearm in. And then when I'm there for the 6 weeks, it's different environments, the cars, the lockers, luggage, anywhere else like that.
So 2 questions. One, how long do you get trained in order to be certified to care for him?
It was 6 weeks initially up at Excel K9, the same place that trains the dogs. They train us. So I did 6 weeks up there, and then we have 8 hours of maintenance training every other week.
Okay.
Plus, each month, he gets 16 hours additional training. Yep. Every month moving forward.
Okay.
Bethany?
Thank you, Madam President. How far away can he smell a gun?
That's a good question, and quite honestly, I couldn't tell you the answer to that. So the most common question I get is, can he smell my firearm? And I asked the trainers, and they didn't have like a perfect answer for me with all the science behind it and all that. But when we were training, there was guns in the center console and whatnot, and he would alert on the outside of the car saying, hey, Dad, there's a gun here. So it's pretty impressive, yeah. Hidden in different departments, bags inside cars, whatever you can think.
And then he's pretty cute. Are we allowed to greet him, or is it
Yes,
better if we
yes,
just
you
let him
are.
do his job all the time?
No, you're absolutely allowed to pet him, and that's one of the things I love about him. He's got this temperament that he loves people, and he loves getting pet by people.
Okay.
But the second I tell him, he'll flip that switch, and
Okay, thank you.
yes, ma'am.
Well, I'm dying to pet him now.
That's what I was going to ask, if he resides.
Yes, he does live with me, yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, he's got his own room, and he loves it there.
Is your name's Matthew?
Yes, ma'am.
Officer Matthew? So I was just wondering, because like you do have your firearm, and I was going to ask that question. So like the gentleman in the back, the officers in the back, like they have weapons as well. So he doesn't.
So we're trained to notice the dog's behavior change. And so when he smells a firearm, he doesn't know he's looking for a firearm right now because I haven't told him to.
Oh,
and so
okay.
he's just in play mode because he's got this ball and life is good because that's what I told him to do. So what am I trying to get at here? He's not in the mode where he's looking for a firearm. Now, if he was, he still wouldn't alert on mine. And we've been acclimating him to other deputies around the office and not alerting on them, like saying, hey, these are friends and whatnot. Yeah, that doesn't seem to throw him off.
And that is the difference between canines. Even when I first got on the department, when I was 20 years ago, you weren't allowed to pet the canines, especially if they were apprehension dogs. Even the officers couldn't get around them. Now it's obedience, and they can, like you said, just the command, and he will do the bite work or the apprehension work and the gun work. So totally different realm from the way it used to be to the way it is now, and because of the public and obviously the employees, he's like a dog that you can actually pet. So.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And every single dog that we've got through our sheriff's office have all come from this Canine XL, and they've all been exceptional. I wouldn't expect anything different with Dino. And we also got the first selection with him also of the group that came over. We were able to go there and make the first pick. So.
And he was, in my opinion, the best out of that group as well.
And you graduated with how many was in that class?
There was 10 total. 10 total, yeah.
So Larry, you guys have 10 canines now, or is he 11?
He's 10. One just retired. We had 11.
Okay.
One retired last month, so we had 10.
And update council on what all the canines do for you guys. You have a variety of them with different trainings.
Yes, the one that just retired was strictly bomb, and we got him from Stark County 2 or 3 years ago. But all the other ones we have through patrol, they are apprehension and narcotics. We do have a bomb dog in patrol. The airport, Timken just donated a bomb dog for the airport strictly. Our narcotics division has narcotic detection dog, and now we had a firearm detection dog. That officer resigned. She actually paid for the dog to take the dog with her, and with that, we replaced that with Dino's now the only firearms detection dog that we do have. And then for the jail, for security there, we added 4 canines there because of the drugs coming in and some of the overdoses coming in through our intake area. We added 4 to cover almost 24 hours a day. So we have 4 dogs down there now, and since we've actually implemented all 4 of those dogs, the overdoses and the amount of drugs that they've got out of the jail has drastically dropped. So that was a big addition for the correction facility. And then also throughout our patrol division, they've been doing great. They've been on the news quite a bit. Which one? Kemp and Marlowe. Deputy Kemp and Deputy Marlowe have been in the news quite a bit recently for the apprehensions that he's been making.
I'm just wondering, so like, for all of Summit County, if any of these new canines were needed, like if an officer needed somebody to go out and do something, are you guys available for that, or is it just in your areas?
Yes. We'll respond to anywhere in the county to assist, and adjacent counties also. So we do assist with canines. Either whether they're working, they'll assist, or if they have a missing person or something comes up, we will actually call one of the canine deputies in.
That's nice. Does anybody have any further questions? No?
I would
No-
just
no
add,
one's dying to pet the Dino?
Chief and I were talking, so Dino he's graduated now. So he'll be starting to work a rotation through buildings, obviously ultimately being primarily stationed in the Ohio building. But in the interim, because it's going to be a while, we'll work on a schedule to get him out into other buildings. Employees get to meet him. And we probably need to do some training with employees on
Correct.
how to approach him, when they can approach him, along the way too. So.
And we can do a full demonstration with everything that he can do, even with the bite work and everything, introduce him to the employees. He's got the brand new Dodge Durango out here that's marked up nice, and he's all set up. And I know he's already got a presentation through his class. That was part of the work that they did, was set up a presentation for where they were going to work and what they were going to do. So We have, how long is the presentation that you have for the Ohio building? Is it roughly 20, 30 minutes?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we will be coming back to council, I don't know that we've discussed when, maybe after the first of the year, to request an executive session to talk about security again. We'll probably have Dino there, but there are some other measures we're looking at putting in place as part of the capital improvements project as we go forward too. I think we've maybe come up with some decent solutions to some of our multiple entry stumbling blocks that we were wrestling with, so we'll want to go over those.
And you'll have one deputy in K-9 that'll be mobile throughout the buildings at all times.
Yeah.
With that, he does do the 16 hours a month that he will be for additional training, but other than that, he's going to be in there all the time, and we will backfill that, so you will have a deputy in the building.
He'll be the most popular deputy at sorry, Ryan, but at county council meetings going forward. Well, you'll still be 1A.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, guys.
If anybody would like to meet Dino, I'll stand outside with him.
Thank you. Just a friendly reminder, budget hearings will take place after the council meeting for the following offices: fiscal office, sanitary sewer services, clerk of courts, children's services. There are 8 motions. There are 17 first readings. There are 3 first reading passage requests. 2025-308. Heidi Swindell to address council.
Thank you. Heidi Swindell, Summit County Engineers Office. Our first reading passage tonight is just required legislation with our grant application package that we submit to AMATS. They require authorizing legislation. This year, we identified, I think, about 8 projects. 2 of them will be on behalf of Coventry Township, their transportation alternatives set-aside dollars. And they're asking for a couple of sidewalks around Portage Lakes. And then our projects, we are doing about 7. And then there is a Cleveland-Maslin Road project that Fairlawn would actually be the sponsor of, and we'd be partnering with them, and they would run the project if we get the money. But happy to answer any questions.
Is there any questions for Heidi? Thanks, Heidi.
All right, thank you.
Next is 2025-309. Jeff Wilhite will address council.
Great. Thank you, Madam President. This is legislation that we'd like to seek first reading passage on. It is to help with the emergency situation that the community is facing as it relates to food availability to individuals across the county. It was determined from the executive's office that there were still on hand a decent amount of food cards, gift cards from previous programs that were just basically in the inventory. So rather than them sitting on a shelf and losing value as each month ticks by, they could be deployed immediately out into the community to help folks who are in need because of what's happened with SNAP and other issues. So it's a combined effort. Members of this body have offered up some of the resources that they have to add to the number. So we're looking at an agreement totaling $56,250 to be put towards this initiative, and it will be in conjunction with United Way of Summit and Medina County. So Annie, if you'd like to come up and just share a little bit about the program.
Of course. Good evening, council members. Thank you so much for having me and for considering and kind of coordinating on this legislation. A group of us, the past few weeks when we knew, our community might be facing quite a bit of food insecurity with everything that's going on at the national level, with the leadership of the county executive and her team really kind of coalesced a group of us together that have been in pretty constant communication, right, between United Way, the food bank, Job and Family Services, the Executive's Office, Metro, to really talk about what do we have at our disposal to kind of coordinate as best we can and help people through this time, right? Obviously, you all have been very generous, as well as some other municipalities with giving extra money to the food bank. I think the point was you all had some assets, right, that you wanted to leverage. And then I think with 77,000 people in Summit County on SNAP benefits, our pantry system and our food bank is going to have a hard time coordinating food for everybody at a time like this, too. So we really tried to think creatively about what we could have at our disposal outside of that system to maybe get some extra assets to people in order for them to have access to food. So obviously this started with a conversation about the gift cards that you had currently, and then maybe an opportunity to expand on that and buy additional gift cards based on a lot of the 211 data that we're getting about where the need is greatest, and then maybe we can in turn then leverage partners in the community to help disseminate gift cards for grocery stores as soon as possible. So that's what this money could do. We'd love to coordinate if anybody has any specific ideas or areas that are important to all of you to make sure we hit. We can also do that as well. But again, we have all this 211 data telling us where the need is greatest. So we can definitely pull that in from what's been going on historically, and then also really in the past month to see where we can make kind of the greatest impact with these grocery store gift cards.
Thank you, Annie.
Sure.
Two questions. One, the $56,250, that is direct resources to the community.
Correct.
There's no admin in that?
Correct. That'll be gift cards.
Okay. And then with that, are you guys hearing anything on potential turnaround on this? I know the Executive's Office is monitoring this by the minute, but are you guys hearing anything on when this is going to end?
Oh, in terms of SNAP?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I mean, they're speaking daily, so I mean, hopefully we can turn it around. But really, we anticipate, even if an agreement is reached and something gets passed, we have to figure there's a lag time for people in order to get caught up. So we're thinking at least a couple weeks, if not a month or more, that people are really going to need some extra assistance while the entire governmental system gets up and running again. So we have to assume this is not going to be solved tomorrow. So we're prepping for that just in case. And honestly, people have been without these assets for a couple weeks now. Some may have ran out back in October, right, because it's on a rolling basis. So some may be without food and SNAP assistance for almost a month, depending on when their cycle is. So it's no secret that the need is there. It's not going to disappear tomorrow. So this is a worthy effort.
I just want to thank everybody that's been a part of this. The idea was exceptional, and Greta, thank you. I know I got the call from you on the cards sitting in inventory and just basically losing value because they weren't being used. So that was a great start. So anyone in the room or anyone whose organization has been a part of helping to bridge this gap, thank you for that, because it is so needed, and we are fast approaching Thanksgiving, and we just hope that by the time we get there that folks have something to recognize that holiday. So thank you very much.
Councilman Wilhite, the only update on SNAP that I can provide to council is what was on Ohio's DJFS website on Friday evening, which is, it's still a holding pattern. There's been no confirmation from state JFS that they began loading even the partial benefits on the card. So I think at this point it's safer to assume that they have not been loaded. Obviously, there is the federal lawsuit right now that's trying to determine whether those full benefits can be reinstated, whether the partial benefits place too great of a burden upon states. So at this point, we are just proceeding as if those benefits are not going to be loaded until we hear that definitively. I just want to publicly say thank you to United Way, to Annie specifically. When I said, hey, council has this stack of gift cards, I'm not sure, how we can do it. Do you think you can partner with us and work with council on the best way to do that? And they did not hesitate. So a great benefit here in our community. I would also plug right now for all of you, if you have constituents reaching out, one of the most efficient ways for them to get a list of resources is to text their zip code to 211. Annie's team has done a great job of beefing up those available resources, the list, sort of the catalog of things that are available to folks, and doing it by zip code has proven to be the most effective way. So it allows for the person who needs assistance to sort of own and control that process. So if you text your zip code to 211 right now, it will return, you know, a text that will tell you resources where you can go, links for you to click.
And just, so a quick question, as far as individuals who are eligible for this, are they strictly SNAP eligible individuals who are, or anyone with food insecurity and a need would be eligible for these
We
cards?
can do either. I mean, the quickest way would obviously just be to target those that are in pantry lines or getting food assistance anyway, if we're talking about the quickest turnaround. Obviously, we'd coordinate with JFS to do kind of more of a vetting process, but again, that would expand it out a little bit. But I think there's no shortage of ways to see who is in need and how they're getting help. So we can definitely engage people pretty quickly with the data we have and the partners we have. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. How will, outside of 211 as a resource, how will these cards actually get into people's hands?
So we anticipate partnering with agencies in the community that are already serving others. So we'll kind of, based on 211 data for where the need is greatest, we'll engage. I mean, we engage with hundreds of agencies every single day. I mean, that's what we do as a part of our institution and a part of 211. So we'll use that and then do some reach outs and then try to coordinate with those agencies to try to disseminate as quickly as possible. Again, if we're talking about expediency, trusted and known partners who engage with our constituents already that really need food services are where we'll probably go and structure it in an appropriate way where it's everybody has accessible, you know, from different parts of the county and the city.
So when somebody goes to a food pantry, if they qualify, there's a certain amount of times they can go, usually twice a month. Will those same kind of, you know, rules be used for the gift cards, or?
We can do that. With the amount of need that's out there, I don't anticipate this going months and months and months. If we do disseminate to, you know, 5 to 8 partner agencies in the community, I could see, you know, these going decently fast if everybody got 50 gift cards and we dispersed them accordingly.
So we might expect some of our local pantries to have those gift cards to be able to give to people, and then it wouldn't count against the normal times they
Yes,
go.
correct.
You know, it wouldn't lessen the times they could go.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I think to Councilman Wilhite's point, holidays are also upon us, right? So if we're trying to, in a mediocre way, make sure families can have a nice holiday season, there's going to be some extra expenses there too, just to make sure we're feeding everybody. So, but yeah, I think that if we partner correctly, the need is there, and I don't think it won't last too long.
Yeah, keeping
Yeah.
it simple is probably
Yes.
a good thing. Thank you.
Yes. Sure.
Just one other point I want to make clear to everybody, and many of you probably already know this, but the SNAP program being pulled from our community does not just affect the ladies and gentlemen who receive that benefit. It's the outer rings that are attached to that. All those grocery stores, all of those folks that provide the stuff that SNAP actually makes available to families, they're feeling the pinch now, because they're losing orders, they're losing business, they're losing revenue, and it is just a snowball effect going forward. So the fact that we collectively as a community are doing everything we can to address this, I think, first of all, speaks to this community in a very positive way. But if there's any way that you guys can push back with whatever agencies you're involved in and get that message out there so we can keep the pressure on and hopefully get this turned around, that is hyper important. So thank you, Madam President.
Is there any further questions? Mr. Nelson?
Yeah, I'll just add one last thing here. We did, in the versions of this, as we were working with Mark on hoping you guys get this legislation together, language specifically about TANF and SNAP eligibility was removed. We wanted to see this money be a little bit more flexible. Obviously, the previous $250,000 that council approved had those TANF requirements and SNAP requirements coupled together. With this is it's available for more folks, and we know there are more folks in need. We haven't finalized the grant agreements with United Way yet. We will put together some language in there that has essentially the distribution and reporting back to us requirements about how they got used. And we will get information from the United Way back to everybody to know how this went and where it went. And obviously, based on that, we'll continue to monitor this like everything else to see if the federal government can't get back to work, what comes next. So more to come on all of that.
So just about 3 minutes ago, I got an email from Heather Yannian. ODJFS put out some additional guidance at 4:37 today. It appears that reduced benefits are being calculated. So a reduction of 35% of the standard maximum. So that's being calculated. Now what that means is they're figuring out how much people could get. But it's not as swift as like pushing a button and the cards get loaded. It's a couple of days of process. So again, it does not appear that full benefits will be reinstated this month. So the need for this legislation is greater than ever.
Mr. Ford?
Just to chime in with what you were saying, Brian, it would be great if we could see kind of sooner rather than at the end the actual agencies that have been tapped to help distribute the cards versus getting all of the information together.
Happy to, yeah,
Thank you.
sure.
Is there any further questions? If not, thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Next is 2025310, Phil Montgomery to
Thank you.
address council.
Thank you, Madam President. Phil
And
Montgomery from the
congratulations, Phil. I just wanted to say.
Thanks. From the Executive Department of Finance and Budget, we have this cycle's council legislation for appropriation requests. The first item is the winding down of a life-to-date project in Munis and making it an annual, so we have to adjust the appropriation and transfer the cash. The next one's the big one, $13 million increase for our self-funded health care. I kind of alluded to it last week, our last cycle, that we're experiencing a pretty big year. This is to pay the actual weekly invoices from Medical Mutual and SUMA. We're averaging about $6.4 million a month in payments that go through the claims system. So it's as low as $4 million a month and as high as $7.9 million a month. So we're over $1 million a week in our healthcare fund. We do get reimbursed from rebates and our stop loss coverage and our REACH firms, but this is actually the appropriation to pay the monthly claims, and then we recoup certain revenue on those. So that's the big one on there. Next up are 4 program year grants for the Department of Development. We have a request for an increase for the fiscal office of $55,000 to get through the end of the year. On to page 4, we have 2 appropriation adjustments, one for the Common Pleas Court, one for Children's Services. And then the last one is a request from the engineer to appropriate funds in the Rotary to repay developers. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Does anybody have any questions? Thank you, Phil. There are no late filings. Routine legislation found on pages 7 through 9. There are no second readings. There are no third readings. Please rise for the pledge led by Councilwoman Bethany McKinney, followed by a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oops. Sorry about that. Roll call.
Mr. Smith.
Here.
Ms. Hyam.
Here.
Mr. Donofrio. Mr. Cajun. Ms. Dickinson.
Here.
Mr. Ford,
Here.
Mr. Wilhite, Ms. Darrow,
Here.
Mr. Lacotte,
Here.
Ms. McKinney, Ms. Walters.
May I have a motion to approve October 27, 2025 minutes, please? I have a motion. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Motions for council. M42, 2025. A motion of council confirming the reappointments of Executive Eileen Shapiro with Gabriel Durant as alternate and Diane Miller Dawson and Caitlin Elrad to the Akron Metropolitan Area Transportation Study AMATS Policy Committee.
I have a motion on M0422025. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
M43, 2025, a motion of council confirming the reappointment of Sandra Hammett and Maureen Schneider to the Akron Summit Convention and Visitors Bureau Board of Trustees.
So moved.
I have a motion on M0432025. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
M44, 2025, a motion of council confirming the reappointment of Beth Boggins to the Akron-Canton Airport Authority Board of Trustees.
I have a motion on M0442025. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
M45, 2025, a motion of council confirming the reappointment of Ike Sampson Akpan Sr. to the Building Standards Board of Appeals.
I have a motion on M0452025. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
M46, 2025, a motion of council confirming the reappointments of County Engineer Alan Brubaker, Councilwoman Rita Darrow, Diane Miller Dawson, Mayor Mike Rick, Township Trustee Paul Swikert, Mayor Mike Zita, and Tazina Long to the Community Development Block Grant Committee.
I have a motion on M046. Which one said it? Okay, sorry, Brandon. I have a motion on M0462025. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I didn't think you were.
No, I didn't. Thank you. M47, 2025, a motion of council confirming the reappointments of Mark Lerner and Julie Wessel to the Development Finance Authority Board.
I have a motion on M0472025. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
M48, 2025, a motion of council confirming the reappointments of Lori Pesci with alternate Andrew Berry and Phelan Thurn with alternate Greta Johnson to the Emergency Management Executive Committee.
I have a motion on M0482025. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
M49, 2025, a motion of council establishing the council and committee meetings for January 1, 2026 through December 31, 2026.
Liz. I have a motion on M0492025. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
First readings, 2025-308, a resolution authorizing the executive and engineer to apply for federal surface transportation block grant funds, resurfacing project funds, and transportation alternatives set-aside funds programmed by the Akron Metropolitan Area Transportation Study in order to improve 10 projects located in Council Districts 5 and 8 for the engineer emergency.
Madam President, I move that we suspend the rules and adopt 2025-308.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-308. On the suspension, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. 2025-309, a resolution authorizing the executive to execute a grant agreement totaling $56,250 with the United Way of Summit and Medina for a program to distribute grocery gift cards to Summit County residents due to the ongoing need for additional food assistance and authorizing the contribution of grocer gift cards owned by the county with an estimated total value of up to $30,750 and an additional $25,500 cash contribution for the purchase of additional grocer gift cards under said grant agreement for this council emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-309.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-309. On the suspension, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
2025-310, a resolution appropriating funds in order to meet projected expenditures for the balance of 2025 as set forth in Exhibit A for the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-310.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-310. On the suspension, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
2025-311, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Trimore Corporation for the Bayberry Drive Drainage and Roadway Improvement Project located in Northfield Center Township in Council District 1 in an amount not to exceed $869,926 for the engineer emergency. 2025-312, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a professional service contract with ABM Industry Groups Limited Liability Company for operation and management of the Summit County Parking Deck in Council District 4 for a 60-month term for the period of August 1, 25 through July 31, 30, and a total amount not to exceed $657,496.18 for the Executive's Department of Administrative Services Physical Plants emergency. 2025-313, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a purchase contract with Environmental Systems Research Institute Incorporated, ESRI, as a sole source for software maintenance, including technical support and software upgrades for ArcGIS for a one-year term from October 31, 25 through October 30, 26, and in an amount not to exceed $95,800 for the Executive's Department of Community and Economic Development and the Office of Information Technology emergency. 2025-314, a resolution authorizing the Executive and Sheriff to apply for and the Executive to execute any documents necessary to accept the award from the Ohio Department of Public Safety's Office of Criminal Justice Services, a Drug Law Enforcement Fund grant up to an amount of $250,000 with a 25% local cash match requirement up to an amount of $83,333.33 for a project total up to an amount $333,333.33 for the period July 1, 26 through June 30, 27 for the Sheriff emergency. 2025-315, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a purchase contract with Montrose CDJR Limited Liability Company doing business as Montrose Auto Group at CUE pricing for 3 vehicles in an amount not to exceed $123,935.25 for the Sheriff emergency. 2025-316, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a renewal, first of 3, of a purchase contract with EverTest Limited Liability Company doing business as EverHealth for on-site drug screen testing services for a one-year term from December 15, 25 through December 31, 26, and in an amount not to exceed $288,982.98 for the Court of Common Pleas General Division Adult Probation Department emergency. 2025-317, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a professional service contract with Children's Hospital Medical Center of Akron, Division of Adolescent Medicine for physician and medical services in the Juvenile Detention Center for a total amount not to exceed $369,339 for a one-year term from January 1, 26 through December 31, 26 for the Court of Common Pleas Juvenile Division Emergency. 2025-318, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a purchase contract with Federal Express Corporation as a best practical source for service of process of documents for the Clerk of Juvenile Court for a total estimated amount not to exceed $165,000 for a one-year term for the period of January 1, 26 through December 31, 26 for the Court of Common Pleas Juvenile Division Emergency. 2025-319, an ordinance amending sections 109.02 and 109.03 of the codified ordinances of the County of Summit titled Record Reproduction and Fee Exemption, Actual Cost, and Public Records Transmitted by the U.S. Mail Emergency. 2025-320, a resolution authorizing the executive or designee to execute or initiate for a 2-year period from January 1, 26 through December 31, 27 through the State of Ohio's County Financial Information System and any other documents necessary, the acceptance by the Executive's Department of Job and Family Services of inter-county transfers of surplus funds from other Ohio counties and to release surplus County of Summit funds to other Ohio counties in exchange for those accepted funds, provided that the collective funds released in a given calendar year do not exceed the collective funds accepted in that calendar year for the Executive's Department of Job and Family Services Emergency. (2025-321), a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a renewal, second and final, of a professional service contract with Clarity Solutions Group Limited Liability Company for automated mail processing services for a one-year term for the period of January 1, 26 through December 31, 26 at cooperative purchase pricing and in an amount not to exceed $100,000 for the Executive's Department of Job and Family Services Emergency. 2025-322, a resolution declaring November 29, 2025 as Small Business Saturday in Summit County, encouraging the residents of Summit County to support our small businesses for the Executive and Council Emergency. 2025-323, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a professional service contract with the Amazing Cloud Limited Liability Company as a best practical source for disaster recovery as a service for a 19-month term from January 1, 26 through July 31, 27 for a total amount not to exceed $130,625 for the Office of Information Technology Emergency. 2025-324, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a purchase contract with Fairline Gig as a best practical source for high-speed internet service to support the virtual court project for a one-year term from January 1, 26 to December 31, 26 in an amount not to exceed $120,000 for the Office of Information Technology Emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt the routine agenda found on pages 7 through 9.
That's okay. I have a motion to suspend and adopt the routine legislation found on pages 7 through 9 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And at that, if we have no other business, we are adjourned. We'll go into budget hearings.
Okay, we'll open up budget hearings. First up is fiscal office. Thank you.
Good evening, Council. I'm Christina Balliet, Director of Finance for the Fiscal Office. So our total overall budget request for 2026 is just over $21.5 million, which is approximately $670,000 more than or 3.2% more than our 25 budget request. This increase is primarily due to the expected 2.5% COLA increase in salaries, the 7.5% increase in medical insurance, along with the 27th pay that will be happening in 2026. Our largest funds are the general, real estate assessment, and delinquent tax assessment and collection. Our general fund budget of $6,478,483 is for salaries, benefits, and necessary expenditures for our administration, recording, accounting, treasury, and services departments. Our real estate assessment budget of $8,481,209 is for salaries, benefits, and necessary expenditures for our real estate appraisal, conveyance, and board of revision departments, along with necessary contracts and appraisal and GIS software. Our delinquent tax assessment and collection budget of $3,384,218 is to cover the salaries and benefits and necessary costs for our delinquent tax department. There's also $2.2 million of our DTAC budget that is for the 5% land bank fee, which we collect on the delinquent tax collections and remit to the land bank. During 2025, our office collected and distributed over $1.1 billion of property taxes. Residents have recorded over 60,000 documents with us so far to date, which has resulted in approximately $1.8 million in revenue to the general fund. We have also processed over 9,000 property transfers, which has resulted in over $11 million of property transfer revenue for the general fund. Our Board of Revision department processed approximately 600 valuation complaints this year. We also implemented a DocuPet dog licensing software, which is scheduled to go live on December 1st. As far as next year goes, next year is our sexennial reappraisal year. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
So excluding tax revenue, property tax revenue, what's the revenue from fees and filing fees, conveyance taxes, those things?
So we had about $11 million in conveyance taxes, and then our recording department collected about $1.8 million for recorded documents.
And then transfer fees?
The property transfer fee was the $11 million, the conveyance fee.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is sanitary sewer services.
Good evening, Michael Vinay, Director of Executive Shapiro's Department of Sanitary Sewer Services. With me tonight is Melissa McFadden. She's a senior administrator in our department. She's going to walk you through the department's annual budget. I will be here to offer support and answer any questions. We have a pretty robust capital improvement plan for next year with several projects coming online, in addition to construction projects that are currently under construction. So it's going to be a busy year for us. I'll have Melissa walk through that, and then subsequent to that, I'll do the building standards budget.
Thank you. Before we move to the budget and project updates, I just want to start with a quick overview of sanitary sewer services. And just to put into perspective the scale of the system that we manage, our department provides water collection and treatment to 52,000 customers across 15 communities and 2 counties. We maintain more than 1,000 miles of sanitary sewer lines. We have 50,000 manholes and 201 pump stations. DS3 has 135 employees, of which 80 are in the field at all times. We operate 5 OEPA permitted wastewater treatment plants. Our mission and vision can be found on page 3 of your pamphlet for our core values. Page 5 is our DSSS operating budget. And it highlights our 2026 operating budget, breaking down how our resources are allocated across our key expense areas. The chart shows our major cost drivers, and the government disposal is the largest at 54%. And that is increased based upon intergovernmental agreements that are in place. Salaries and benefits are 20%, and those are based upon general wage increases. Debt service is 9% of our budget, and utilities is 4%. We had an extreme increase in the rates in our utilities just this year, resulting in us being $300,000 over budget. And we don't see any reduction in rate for 2026. In 2025, our department focused on several key initiatives aimed at modernizing systems, improving compliance, and supporting staff development. I'll just go over a few of them. We completed the implementation of Tyler Enterprise Asset Management Software. We continue to improve our internal CDL program. We've had 7 employees that have received their CDL since this program has started. And we've also been training staff on our new CCTV calcium removal truck, which will enhance our ability to maintain the sewer system proactively.
I would just want to jump in and just say we continue to work through challenges with our utility billing software. We continue to work with Tyler on that issue. It is ongoing. We've made some strides in some areas, but continue to experience challenges in others. So I just want to make council aware that that's still going to be an endeavor for us in 2026 as we try to make sure our customers receive their bills on time, can see their bills online, and get the best service possible.
Is that, oh, sorry. You talk about CDL training. Do you guys do that internally, or do you, okay, I was going to ask, did you do it through Stark State or anybody like that? So it's all internal.
We had an employee get certified by the state of Ohio 2 years ago to actually instruct employees to get their CDL. So we do there's online training in addition to field training. We set up the maneuverability portion of that at our OMC, our Operations Management Center. And yes, successfully 7 employees, which has really opened up an area for us to actually hire people because historically you had to have a CDL to get hired, but now we can bring in qualified candidates and train them internally.
I have a question. Could you guys, you had talked about 300,000 over budget. Could you go over that again on those utilities that you're talking about?
Yeah, so that was mainly, well, actually all of it was electricity. We saw a huge increase in electricity, and obviously we have 2 major wastewater treatment plants that demand a lot of electricity. And I assume everyone's seen their electrical bill go up this year, but ours goes up much more significantly. So that's where that's mostly occurring at. Yeah.
You mentioned 300,000, correct?
Correct. If you look at the budget last year, we budgeted 1.9 million for utilities.
Okay.
This year, I believe we're at 2,300,000. I can't read that. I'm too old. But it's at 2,300,000, I think. So, and that covers that electricity for next year.
Okay, thank you.
We still have a little bit more.
Oh, okay. All right, in 2025, we made significant progress in several major capital improvement projects across multiple communities. We continue the design work for State Route 93 sanitary sewer extension in New Franklin. At Plant 25 in Stowe, construction continues on the treatment process upgrades. And in the village of Peninsula, we secured the NPDES permit for the new sanitary sewer collection and treatment center. Looking ahead to 2026.
So she just mentioned State Route 93 in the city of New Franklin. We will be going under construction for that next year. That's a partnership with the city, a great partnership. I have to give kudos to Mayor Adamson for that. He secured a $3 million appropriation for that project. So that partnership actually we designed the project. They're going to let the project for construction, and then we're obviously going to take over the sewer once it is constructed. You will see an intergovernmental agreement next year for us to pay a small portion of that project. They were required a share for that appropriation, and we have agreed tentatively with council's approval in the future to pay that share. State Route 162 Copley Road, that's a partnership as well with Copley Township. Phase 1 has been completed, which is west of Copley Circle. Phase 2, which is east of Copley Circle, is slated to be under construction next year as well. Council previously approved an intergovernmental agreement for that project. Copley, in essence, is paying the debt service for that project over the next 20 years. You will see an amendment to that agreement come before you next year because we fronted the cash for Phase 1, and we have to roll that into a new amortization schedule once Phase 2 is completed. Plant 25, which is Fish Creek and Stowe. We are currently under construction there for treatment process upgrades on our existing oxidation ditch. We are going to be under design for elimination of the RBC treatment train and replacing that with a second oxidation ditch. That is part of our MPDES permit to be under design for that in 2026, so that contract will come before you. We did interviews with firms last week. We are doing sanitary sewer system lining projects are slated for City of Hudson, the Village of Lakemore. I believe we are in discussions with Monroe Falls. Is Mayor here? He is not. About joining a lining partnership up there while they're doing some road reconstruction work. And then obviously the big one's the Village of Peninsula. As Ms. McFadden stated, we got our MPDES permit, which was a huge step. We are at about 90% design. We are still having discussions with entities relative to both water service to the village and then also potential partners for a funding stack on that project. Additionally, we nominated that for a WPCLF loan as a contingency as well. We have an H2 Ohio grant in place for that project, so we've come a long way. It's coming together, still a few more discussions, but our target now is to be under construction in May should the funding stack come together. And then Akron-Cleveland Road in Boston Township, you approved some easements for this project a few months ago. We are at 100% design. The permit to install is in front of the EPA right now. They are reviewing that. As soon as we get that PTI approved, we will be coming in front of council for a construction contract. Well, first authorization to bid and then eventually a construction contract. That is funded partially through ARPA dollars and then the balance with WPCLF funding. Boston Township has a financial share in this as well, as this is a project that's been long in the making as far as economic development within that Cuyahoga Falls, Boston Township JED. This project has really been in the works for over 10 years, so it's nice to finally see this getting constructed. And then again, I mentioned earlier the design of the major enhancements at the Fish Creek wastewater treatment plant. Happy to answer any questions on those projects. And then finally, for the building standards budget, relatively flat. Obviously, the general wage increase in the 27th pay is the largest driver there. Two other items I just want to point out is contract services went up slightly. That is to handle the plan review. We have a couple of consultants that assist us with plan review because we try to keep those timeframes on those reviews down to keep construction moving, keep economic development moving forward. And then also internal service charges. Those are just relative to increases in certain software that gets internally charged back to the department. And training, obviously, all of our inspectors and our plans examiners are required by the state to have training, so that was bumped up a little bit as well. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Good evening, County Council. I'm Tavia Golonsky, your Summit County Clerk of Courts, and I'm joined at the podium by my Chief Deputy, Anthony Gomez. Thank you all for your hard work as the county has continued to navigate challenges coming from the federal and state level. The Clerk's Office budget for fiscal year 2026 is focused on items necessary for operational needs. In the legal division, we have asked for an additional $125,000 for the postal meter. Postage prices have continued to increase, and I need to make sure that the office can continue to maintain service of documents. The legal division is looking to replace 2 large capacity printers. There have been multiple failures through this year, and it has become tedious to search for replacement parts due to the age of the current machinery. My administrative team has gotten quotes for a direct purchase from Visual Edge for around $23,000. In the title division, we are maintaining the $1 million transfer to the general fund. The only change was an additional $3,921 in rent, which accounts for the lease that was approved earlier this year for the Northfield Title Office. The increase in rent was designed to take effect in January of 2026 as negotiated into the terms of the lease with the current landlord. Again, thank you very much for your consideration and continued support of the Summit County Clerk of Courts office. My Chief Deputy, Anthony Gomez, and I will answer any questions that council may have.
You know, you make our,
Oops, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
you make our jobs pretty easy when your budget's flat. We appreciate that. So there's not a lot of questions when you don't ask for any more money.
And Mr. Chairman, Phil Montgomery is not the only successful school board candidate
That's right.
last Tuesday.
Top vote getter.
Anthony Gomez was as well, so congratulations, Anthony.
Thank you.
Anthony, congratulations.
Hello. Everybody looks a little bit tired. So we have an abridged version, but I know that you're aware that we're going through the budget process as well. So I'm going to start by thanking you again for your work, and I'm going to turn this over to Darren so we can jump right in and move forward.
Thank you. I am Darren Kearns. I'm the CFO for Summit County Children's Services. Our 2026 proposed budget of $83,143,000 is a 5.8% increase over our adjusted 2025 budget. In regards to some of the line items that you have before you, the salaries are predicated upon 355 FTEs. The good news is that we are currently nearly fully employed at 350 FTEs. The additional 5 FTEs that we had approved by our board are earmarked for positions which will help the organization manage new processes designed to reduce paid placement costs. Payroll includes a general wage increase as agreed upon in our collective bargaining agreement. That increase is 3.75%. 2026 is the final year of our 3-year collective bargaining agreement. We will enter negotiations in the latter half of 2026, and the new agreement will span 2027 through 2029. In regards to benefits, our healthcare premium has been increased by 10%. Oswald, our healthcare consultant, agreed with this increase in order to keep our healthcare reserve actuarially sound. We will be offering our employees access to a direct primary care through Marathon Health beginning in February of 2026. Oswald, again, has vetted Marathon on our behalf. The goal of this offering, the goal of offering this service is to reduce claims to our traditional healthcare plan and to provide a more holistic healthcare experience for our employees. Contract services line item, that includes paid placements. Our 2026 budget for paid placements is $28.8 million. By comparison, the original 2025 budget was $21.8 million. However, due to an unprecedented increase in cost, we increased the 2025 budget to $25.8 million. We are currently on an unsustainable trajectory with year-over-year increase through October of 2025 at 25.4% increase. The last 4 years, encompassing 2022 through 2025, have seen increases of 19.9%, 9.4%, 17.4%, and as just mentioned, 25.4% for this year. For the 11-year period from 2014 through 2024, the annual average increase for our paid placements has been 9.9%. As a result, we have established several work groups which will help us identify solutions to the crisis. The work groups are focused on agency licensed foster homes, family search and engagement, prevention and intervention services, and Title IV-E fiscal issues, which are aimed at maximizing our reimbursement. We have established a goal of reducing placement costs by 4% annually beginning in 2027 and continuing through 2031, which is the end of our current levy cycle. We will be using 2026 as our runway to ramp up our efforts to reduce costs. One of the keys to solving this issue is the recruitment of additional foster homes in Summit County. Due to the limited number of homes we have had to purchase foster home services outside of Summit County. Purchase foster is roughly 3 times expensive as a foster home licensed by Summit County Children's Services. In addition to the additional costs for placement, our staff are traveling great distances to visit children and facilitate family visits. We currently have nearly 55% of our children placed outside of Summit County, contributing to increased travel expense and work time. All other categories of costs on our budget and what you have before you are functioning within an expected range of increase. We have no major